Hello, class. I'm Professor Tom Mandeville, and I'm going to be your professor this semester in History 102 at Clinton Community College. That's Modern American History. And I'm talking to you today to try to explain some of the things you're going to be doing right off the bat in this distance learning course, to introduce myself, and to make sure that everybody gets off to a good start in the class on the right foot. So, as most of you may know, I've been teaching at Clinton Community College since the fall of 1990. I'm one of the old timers there. I've been there forever. I love the place, and as you'll quickly find out, I love American history. That's what I mainly teach at Clinton Community College, History 101, 102, and I teach an honors course on the Champlain Valley. I also teach courses in political science, namely national government and state and local government. Now, usually most of my teaching is done in the classroom, but unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm going to be teaching all of my courses in the distance learning format this semester, as I did last semester. And hopefully, by the fall, we'll all be back in the classroom after we've all been vaccinated. But in the meantime, we got to make the best of what we have to use to learn. So, the distance learning format is not strange to me. I've been teaching in that format 1 or 2 classes a semester for 20 years now. So when we had to switch to remote, it wasn't a shocking ordeal for me. But what I did after I sat and contemplated how to make this better for students who really didn't want to be in the distance learning format, I tried to replicate the classroom. Now, in my in-class history classes, I'm a lecture-based instructor. Just like all my favorite history professors were, that's the mode I use. And usually, 3 times a week, on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I come into the classroom and I tell stories. If we were on campus and you talk to some of your fellow Clinton students, you'd quickly find out about me. I'm known as the storyteller. I tell stories every class, weave them together into the story of our country, and that's how I've taught at Clinton for the past 30 years. So what I did last spring, after we had to go remote, I went out and purchased this iPad that I'm recording on right now, and since last March, I've recorded well over 100 history lectures for my courses. And I've embedded them into the Moodle platform that you're going to be using this semester. So I'm trying my best to make it almost like being on campus under these trying circumstances. Now, a little bit more about me. I was born and raised in Michigan, 60 miles north of Detroit. As an undergraduate, I went to Eastern Michigan University. As a graduate student, I went to Bowling Green State University in Northwest Ohio. In 1990, my family and I moved here, and we've been here ever since. And I consider myself now a New Yorker. I've lived in New York longer than any other state in my life, and I'm very proud to be a New Yorker. We're a great state. So, I also feel very lucky that I ended up at Clinton Community College. The North Country is a tremendous place to live, and also there's so much history right in our own backyard. So I've been very fortunate to have my career unfold here in the North Country in the Champlain Valley. So, enough about me. Let's get into how this course is actually going to work. You'll be getting emails telling you that the course is going to open up on January 25th. And that's a week before the regular classes open. Now, that brings me to another very important point about this whole semester. You have to get into the routine of reading your Clinton Community College email on a daily basis, because that's how I'm going to communicate with you during the whole course of the semester. You won't be able to come to my office and meet with me in an office hour because I won't be on campus. In fact, I haven't been on the campus of Clinton Community College since last March during spring break, and I have no intention of returning until I've received the vaccine. And I don't know when that's going to be. So, the only way to communicate with me is via email. Plus, it's the way the college is going to communicate with you if they have important messages for you or need to get a hold of you. And it's also how your other professors will communicate with you. So if you're not in the habit of reading the email daily, you better get into it. Because in our course, important messages will be sent out that way. That's how you'll find out how you're doing in the course, as you'll find out when you enter Moodle. I don't use the Moodle gradebook. I'll be emailing you grade updates from time to time. And after you complete an assignment, I'll be sending you back the graded assignment via email. Now, that brings me to another very important point about the nuts and bolts of this class. All of you as students at Clinton Community College get free access to Microsoft Office 365. If you haven't taken advantage of that and downloaded it onto your computer, you need to do so immediately. I put links into the class on how you can do that. They're on the Clinton Community College website, because all your assignments are going to be in Microsoft Word. Our email system is Outlook. So you need Office 365 to participate in everything at Clinton Community College, especially my course. So when the class opens up on the 25th of January, a week before regular classes do, all distance learning classes open a week early. If you have an on-campus class, and there aren't many of them, they start on February 1st, but all the ones with the DL after them start on the 25th, and you need to jump right in right away. Now, you'll have to go, I'm not sure how to do it. If they send directions out, I'll make sure you have them. You go through your student portal or through the website to the OnLearning, log in, and you'll find my course, History 102, 1DL, Modern American History. Enter it, and you'll be on Moodle, which is the online platform we use. It's very user-friendly. I've taught on 3 different platforms, and Moodle by far is my favorite. It's the best for both professors and students. So once you get into the course, the first thing you're going to want to do is find the course information documents right up near the top of the course. That basically is the same exact thing as a syllabus that I'd be handing out the first day in class if we were meeting on campus. You need to review all those documents. They're very important. In there, you'll find such things as the highly important class or course schedule that tells you when every single assignment is due from the beginning of the course on January 25th to the end of it on May 14th. Very important document. You might want to print it. In there also, you'll find a section entitled My Expectations. That's where I try to spell out to you what you're going to need to do to be successful in my course. And also, you'll find information on the textbook and readings. This is the textbook that you must purchase. Give Me Liberty, An American History by renowned historian Eric Foner of Columbia University. This is volume 2 of the 6th edition, full edition. Now, all the details about that are contained in the course information documents, including the ISBN number. But one very important thing you need to remember when you're purchasing the textbook, which you must do to be in this course, you have to purchase it with access to Inquisitive. You have to buy this access code with the textbook from the publisher Norton, because when you get onto the Moodle course, you'll see that's how you complete all the chapter quizzes. It's also where some extra credit material is located. So as far as the textbook goes, it's available in several different forms. You can buy it in the hard copy like I have right here. You can buy an ebook, and it's much less expensive. You know, the ebook with Inquisitive access, you can purchase online for $50 or less. So, if you're comfortable reading a textbook on your computer screen, I'd encourage you to get the ebook. If you're not, buy the hard copy. It's going to be more expensive, but regardless, you have to have one of them. Now, the other requirements of the course, besides purchase of the textbook, is you must have a computer at home, which remember you're going to load Microsoft Office 365 onto, and a reliable internet access, all where you live. You can't try to take the class in the computer labs at Clinton because they're not going to be open because of COVID. You can't go to your local library and use the computers because local libraries aren't letting anybody use their computers because of COVID. Believe me, I know. My wife's a librarian. So, you got to have one. First of all, the textbook. In whatever form you want. 2, you got to have a computer, obviously. You can't do this course on a cell phone. And 3, you have to have reliable internet access, all at your home. So, once you have those requirements, you're set to go. If you can't fulfill those requirements, you need to drop my course and find a course that you can fulfill the requirements of. That's just the way it is with this distance learning course. So, now, what you're going to do after you review the course information documents, you're going to go into the next section, which is the introduction, or module 1, as I call it. In there, there's going to be a quite simple discussion just to get you into the mode of being in a discussion in Moodle. I'll pose the question, what is history? You and your classmates will talk about that and talk about all sorts of other things related to that question in this introductory module. Then you'll notice within that module, there's an extra credit essay that is a simple assignment. It's due by February 3rd, and you need to complete that in Microsoft Word. And I'll be sending back your evaluated assignment attached to an email. Now, as I mentioned before, this extra credit essay, which is one of the few extra credit opportunities you have all semester, besides the map exercises associated with each chapter that you can do for extra credit, is due on February 3rd. Now, I do not accept any late assignments, so don't try to turn in the extra credit assignment on February 4th or 5th because I wouldn't even bother reading it. And that's the case for the entire semester. I do not accept any assignments late, period. No excuses, no exceptions. That's been my policy for 30 years I've been teaching at Clinton, and I'm not going to change it. Assignments are due on specific dates. They're all listed in the course schedule. It's not a mystery to anybody. So, another assignment that you'll see in the introduction is you need to select a topic for your local history paper. Excuse me. That's a major part of the course too. And this major history paper is going to be written on a local history topic. You'll read the complete assignment, and basically in a nutshell, you're going to pick a topic from the Champlain Valley or the North Country region, because that's where the majority of you live, that is from the dates of April 1865, when our studies start in this course, to date. So, you can write about things that happened here in the North Country during the Gilded Age. Many areas up here like Clintonville, Redford were industrial centers that no longer exist anymore. You could write about the women's suffrage movement. There were activists up here that were very active. You could write about the foundings of different villages or towns, all the way up to the present day. So in the 20th century, you could write about Theodore Roosevelt visited the North Country several times if you wanted to try to write about him. The old military base before it became an Air Force base was where basically we were training civilian soldiers for World War I right in Plattsburgh. It's where ROTC was created for the first time. You could write about the Plattsburgh Air Force Base when it existed. The subjects go on and on and on of things that happened right here in the North Country from April 1865 to date. Nothing before that date. Don't submit that you want to write about the Battle of Plattsburgh. That happened in 1814. We're not studying 1814 in this class, as you'll discover. So you have to write me a proposal, send me that, and I'll either approve it or suggest changes to it or modifications to make it suitable. That paper topic is due on the 9th of February, but sooner better. Then, on Saturday the 30th, Module 2, which is entitled Reconstruction, will open in Moodle. You need to jump right in and get started. That module will be open from Saturday, January 30th, until the 9th of February. And there are several assignments associated with it. And you'll find them in a section labeled What's Due When. Every module, graded module, will have that section, What's Due When, which will tell you what you have to do and by when, obviously. The major assignment in every module are the discussions. It's a large part of your grade. Now you're going to participate in those discussions based on the following. There'll be an assigned chapter in the textbook, Give Me Liberty. In this case, with Reconstruction, it'll be chapter 15. You're going to, you're going to read that chapter. Associated with that chapter, you'll be completing a quiz in Inquisitive during the time period that the module's open. I also have mini lectures in there that you'll discover. In there where I write a synopsis of what we're studying. In it, I've embedded important links to different sources of documentation, historic sites, and so forth. And also within those mini lectures is where you're going to find my video lectures. The same lectures I deliver in the classroom if we were meeting on campus. So based on those is what you're going to base your discussion on. I'll pose some introductory questions in every module's discussion. And I expect you all to very quickly come up with your own questions based on the textbook, based on the video lectures, the mini lectures. And also then you need to comment on what your fellow classmates have to say. They'll pose questions. They'll answer your questions. You'll respond to them. This is a major part of your grade, and it's how you're going to learn. And I expect the successful student to be online making posts in the discussion 5 days a week at least. This is a class basically you're going to have to visit just about every day and do something. Doesn't mean you got to sit there for hours at a time, but you're going to have to be in there and actively engaged if you plan on passing. So, in a nutshell, that's what you're going to start out doing. You'll see me again in the lectures that I've recorded. And from time to time, I'll record other important messages explaining to you how to complete assignments, what to do next, and so forth. So, I look forward to working with you all this semester. I wish we could be in a classroom, but we can't. We're going to make the best of it. And please, everybody, wear your masks. Be careful. COVID-19 is running rampant in Plattsburgh right now. If you don't need to go anywhere, don't. Protect yourselves. This is nothing to fool with. I've had several friends come down with it and suffer horribly from it, end up in the hospital, including one of your former professors, who I will not name. My father-in-law passed away from it. This is not anything to fool with. So wear your mask, stay at home till we get through this and can all be vaccinated. Be safe, and I look forward to working with you this semester. Everyone take care. Bye now.